We are Power 93.7 WBLK. You know the steal. If you don't, now you know. Your boy Still About Money on the inside, setting the vibe, plugging you into the 716 Spotlight. Of course, brought to you by Easy Loan Auto Sales. And I got my man, the one, the only L Biz in a building.
Salute. Thank you for having me, man. I'm living on a cloud right now, man. Just working hard, promoting this project, Erie County. You know what I'm saying? And man,
project
stay
tough,
busy,
man.
baby.
The project is really tough, man.
Thank
really
you,
tough. I'm hyped for you because I've been a fan of yours for a minute, but I've been waiting for you to really get back on your run with this thing. It look like you got your track shoes on now. You back on.
For sure. Yeah, I took a little bit of time off to focus on writing and doing placements and whatnot. And I've been working with D Block and Rock Nation. Got a little situation with Universal Music Group too.
You so brush your shoulder off.
You know what I mean?
That,
so
man.
We just working.
That ain't nothing light, man. That ain't nothing light.
I mean, I'm a humble guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of cats in the city that's doing really big things.
Facts.
And so, when the bar is set high, I don't try to place myself above it. I just want to be able to stay motivated, and I use those things to motivate me.
I like that. Now, before we get into this project, I do want to touch on the fact of some of the stuff you've been doing with like D Block and the Locks. How did some of that come about?
Man, it was really a chance happening. I was again doing some behind the scenes work, doing some production and A&R for a group named called Elma Ave out of Buffalo. We ended up landing a record with Freeway, which fast forwarded us to working with Memphis Bleak. And the guy that produced the records, Jimmy Duke, shout out to my bro Jimmy.
That's my little homie, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's my guy.
For a minute too.
Yeah, his manager actually got wind of the records that we were doing off of the strength of the Freeway record, the 24/7 record. And we stayed in communication because I was kind of managing them a little bit, I guess. Mm-hmm. But just a happenstance, I posted up a record that I did called Cuffin' Season. And I sang and rapped on the song. He was like, yo, this is dope. You rap? And I'm like, yeah. Like, we have been in communication for the whole year, and he didn't even know that I rapped or anything because I like to focus on what I'm doing when I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I was managing. That's what I'm doing.
You wear many hats.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And but he was like, yo, but who's singing on the hook? And I'm like, well, that's me too. He was like, no. You know what I'm saying? Which is what I get usually. So he's like, man, you should sing some hooks on some of Jimmy Duke's beats. I didn't know he was managing Jimmy Duke's at the time. So, so I did. Jimmy sent me like 3 beats, and, the first record that I landed, it was a song called The Product on the Trinity Third Sermon by the Locks. And that was about a year after, maybe like a year after, and then from there, we stayed in contact. It's been literally, ironically, it's 5 years to the day that I submitted my first 3-pack to the Locks and D Block.
Won't he do it?
And they picked that record, and moving forward, I did another record called Re-Up. I did some stuff for a kid called, I don't remember his name. I've been doing a lot of work, bro. I can't even front. You know what I'm saying? Like, we did some stuff with Uncle Murder, and man, it's just been going like that. So I kind of fell back from the limelight to focus on doing placement work.
Now, what brought you back into the game, so to speak?
Man, it's just, it's just the motivation for what's happening with the city, like there's a lot of big things going on with Griselda. Shout out to them. They've been doing so much in the ironically, it was like that 5-year gap between the time that I focused on doing placements. It was like it was going crazy. Westside Gun was going crazy. Mm-hmm. Benny had always been that guy. Conway had always been that guy in the city. So it was only right. And, that motivated me to kind of get back in the ring and do my thing. And two, it was just an opportunity where I prayed to have people help me, you know what I'm saying? Because I never had any, a lot of people helping me behind the scenes as much as I was helping them.
Trying to help somebody else.
Yeah, so the fact that I had somebody that was pressing me to do work with them and they wanted to produce for me, and you know what I'm saying, my man Carolina Blue, shout out to him too, was like, yo, let me produce for you. Let me be your engineer. Let me help you out. And I'm like, you know what? I prayed for this. So shame on me if I don't take advantage of it. So I'm taking advantage, and this is the results.
Boom. That brings us to Erie County.
Yes, sir.
Nice EP. It's out everywhere. You can download that. I'm gonna have some links for y'all to download that. Now put me in the mindset of how Erie County came together.
Oh man, it was a marriage between the sound that Rubik's Cube provided and a lot of dark emotion that I had been dealing with family and stuff like that. Like within the past 3 years, maybe a little bit more. So I've seen one of my best friends get locked up, sent to the feds. And then like a month after that, my grandfather passed away. Maybe a little bit less than a calendar year after that, my mother had got diagnosed with a tumor on her lungs. So she was in Roswell. Jeez. And then fast forward to this past March, and my father had an accident where he had a traumatic brain injury. Damn. So between all of that stuff happening, I'm raising a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a wife at home.
Real life.
I'm working. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make extra money and trying to change our lives. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to change our family tree. And still doing music, still helping other people and all of this stuff. And it was just so much frustration and negative energy that I wanted to get off. And so that's really what, you know, created this whole vibe. And, you know, it just, and then the city is eerie in itself.
It definitely is.
You know what I'm saying? Like in the spooky sense, you know what I mean? So I feel like we own that title for spooky hip hop music. You know what I mean?
And I'm not gonna lie, like I met you a few times. You always come off real humble and a nice guy.
For sure.
But when you press that play, you hear the come out, that animal up inside you. And I'm a fan of that type of music.
Okay,
you know?
okay.
So the For the Homies is right up my alley, man. You had me crip walking and all that, man. You know, almost broke my ankle, all that. Just result. All right, don't judge me. All right, don't judge me. But the point is, the music is real intense, and I enjoy that. So is that where you put that pain and that frustration, you put it all in the mic? Indeed.
I felt it was really therapeutic. Like it happened it happened within a span of a month. You know, me just really writing down raw emotions that I felt. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention the fact that it's like I'm still adding little life gems in there to make sure that people understand that this is not me, you know, overstepping who they know me to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's real aggression. I'm a black man in America.
Facts.
So dealing with all of the stuff that we seeing through social media, through the news, the politicians, cops killing us and all kind of stuff like that. It's like, yo, it's an environment for aggression. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a conversation with my cousin last night, and it's like, yo, it's ironic that people expect for us to be rational in irrational situations.
Say that, man. You better say that one more time.
It's strange for people to expect for us as black men to be rational in all these irrational situations.
Amen.
And so with that being said, it's like, me, you know, cooler heads prevailing and me using the music and the booth to get off this aggression so that when I am presented with these irrational situations, I can keep my calm because I've allowed for my music to be my therapy.
Now, Erie County, is that because we so eerie here? That's because the type of spook we got in the air? Like you could literally feel it sometimes when they get a certain time at night. You can kind of feel the eeriness, see the fog come up. Is that why you put the whole project around Erie County?
It was really just, I felt like the production that Rubik's Cube provided, it had a really eerie feel to it. You know, it's a lot of really odd piano keys that's being played, like odd samples that's being used.
Give me like a 90s type, I need to put my hoodie on vibe. You
like
know?
He's definitely like a chop master when it comes to, you know, creating and putting different sounds together that may not necessarily seem, you know, have those melodies that people was used to in today's music. Mm-hmm. And it just gave me a feeling. You know what I'm saying? And it really it tapped into that energy that I had through, you know, all of the stuff that I've been dealing with. And because this is not the norm for me as far as music creation is concerned, it was like it was what I needed though. You know, it was that dark, eerie vibe. And then, you know, for us to drop it in October, it just made sense. You know what I'm saying?
Spooky around Halloween.
For sure. Yeah.
Now, who is L Biz? What does L Biz mean for people who might not know the name?
L Biz is really a combination of things that I believe in. You know, I believe in bringing quality business to the table, and it's really just, you know what I'm saying, like it transitioned from low. My first rap name was Low Budget, and around that time,
because you was low budget,
because I was broke, I was struggling. Yo, I ain't gonna front, like I was struggling. Me and my cousin had a little apartment, and he was going to college, so he ain't really had no bread. He was staying with me, and I was like, man, I was making ends meet, you know. So when I started rapping, it was real life. Like my budget was low. I was, you know what I'm saying, we was grinding and trying to get it. And, you know, and around that time, it was like, you know, Snoop Dogg was real big and everything was for shizzle and dizzle and lizzle. So my man, shout out to my man, Sonny, he used to always call me El Bizzle. And, you know, and so when I started to really take my rap career seriously, I didn't really like that, you know, and I couldn't be low budget forever, you know what I'm saying? At least because I didn't like the idea of that self-fulfilling prophecy of me saying that I ain't gonna have no money.
I'm gonna get some money
so I'm gonna get some eventually. So I gotta speak it into existence. And, you know, so I dropped the OW, shortened the, you know what I'm saying, the Bizzle that he gave me, and it turned into L Biz, you know what I'm saying?
That's smooth. Now the project, of course, Erie County. What's your favorite song on the project?
Ah, man. It's
like
really
all of them.
It's really though, because it was like it was it was a challenge for me to create this type of music and be, you know, and have this type of energy behind the music. And then too, like with Benny and Conway and all, like they set the bar so high, it's like, yo, I gotta really go higher. And I feel like I did that in every aspect with still being myself and not, you know what I'm saying, not trying to sound like anybody or present my music like anybody. I feel like my style is my own. As far as my favorite, I would say my favorite would probably be Banana Pudding.
Now, how long did the whole project take to come together?
Oh man, like literally like a month, and it would have probably been less time if it wasn't, you know, a struggle between me and Rubik's Cube's schedule. I work days, he work nights, you know what I'm saying, mid shift to late, you know, so his availability is like after 11 o'clock, and I'm like, man, I done did everything that I could within a day between 5 a.m. and 11. I ain't about to be up with you all night, bro. Like, you gotta send me some records. So he started to send me stuff, and it took a minute for me to get the first record back because I'm just like, I don't really know how I want to attack it. But when I did, it was like, yo, we knocking this out. We gonna bang it out. And he just started sending me stuff. And I was like, yo, I want him to know that I'm serious because he's sending me stuff and he giving it to me for free. I don't know what we supposed to be doing with this. So I got to be on my stuff. So it was like, for the most part, every record that I did, it was like, it was a day's process. And then when we started to build on the catalog and had like 5 records, then it was like, all right, we got an EP here. What we gonna do next? And then that's where we started to plot the plan about putting the project out and the concept. Shout out to my man G4 Jag out in Harlem. He helped me and linked me up with the graphic designer that did the cover.
That's dope. Right here, cover right here.
You know what I'm saying? And then everything else just became a process. I did the remainder of the graphics. You know what I mean? And
so you doing these graphics yourself too?
Yeah, man. Yo,
how many hats can one man wear?
Yo, listen. Like, I've DJ'd before. Like my first DJing gig, I toured with Elma Ave on a Jorah Ortiz and Illmind tour. You know what I'm saying? I've done graphic design for a bunch of artists around the town, including my man G4 Jag. We got vinyls in other countries that I've done graphics on, including my own. You know, I've engineered. Shout out to my homegirl Danny J. I engineer and write. I worked with her on her Miss Jackson project. The Alma Ave projects and a bunch of other projects with people in the city. Like, I do everything that I can, and it's all really based on necessity. You know,
you're like a Swiss Army knife of entertainment right now.
That's what they calling me. That's what they calling me. You know what I mean? So, but it's like, you got to do what you got to do when the funds is low. You got to make it happen one way or another. You know, so because I got a family, I can't sink all of the funds that I'm earning to take care of my family into this. So I got to find another way. So you know what I mean? Shout out to my homie Thugsman. Like, it's connecting and building relationships. He helped teach me how to do production between him and my man C Reels. It's like I learned how to do production. I learned how to do graphic design. You know, I learned how to mix my own records, working with people around the city. And then I take all of these tools and I put it together, and here I am.
Transform into a machine.
Indeed.
Now, for the people who think, you know what, I rap, so all I want to do is write my 16. Explain to them how important it is to wear those different hats, to open yourself up to different parts of the industry.
You have to know the business. Like, that's it. It's like the business is like, if you got 100%, the business is 80% of it. The music is 20.
Yeah.
Period. Like, that's the fun. Being creative and being artistic is the fun part. The part where you decide that you want to make some money off of this, that's the most important part. So knowing, you know, how to network, knowing how to brand yourself, knowing how to create outside of your comfort zone is the most important thing. And all of this stuff is stuff that I did not knowing how to do it. So I had to be uncomfortable and take those L's and make doodle graphics and make, you know, mix bad songs.
How you grow.
And you grow, and that's how you grow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it take water, it take a flood for a seed to grow. You know what I'm saying? Fact. And it takes stretching. You know what I'm saying? Like I say all the time to my bros, it's like, yo, we planted a seed. Imagine if a seed had a voice and that first leaf busted out of the seed. It would scream and be in agony. But that's how you grow. That's how you create the petals. That's how you pollinate. That's how you spread your vision. You know what I'm saying?
Now, how important is it for you to find a balance between your regular job, your family, and this music thing? Because you're good at it. It's not like this is something you're not good at where you're just like, I'm doing it for a hobby. Like, this could be something you will make money for the rest of your family and change the generation of your family and change that family tree like you stated. So how do you find that balance between, how important is it to have a balance?
Oh, man, you know what's crazy? It's like I'm still searching for proper balance. Not too long ago, I hopped on one of Conway's Instagram lives, and I asked him how he do it because I'm still trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, bro, it ain't no balance. It ain't happening, bro. Like, I got to make sacrifices to get to the bag for my family, and they understand. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my wife. She understands. I've been at it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Over a decade, over 15 years, really. And you know, with a solid foundation, a solid family foundation, she understands it ain't always easy, and I'm still in search of the balance. But you know, when you got a good partner with you, when you got somebody that truly support you and truly love you, family, fans, however, then it makes it more, it makes it all worth the while of making certain sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? The folks at my job, they respect it and they allow me to move a little bit. And man, and it's just like, yo, if you want it, you got to go for it. So you're going to rub some people the wrong way. Everybody ain't gonna like the time that you do or don't have to give. But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, we trying to change our family tree, man.
Gotta look at the bigger picture sometimes.
Indeed.
Now, how important is it to have some merch on deck? I love this, by the way. He gave me some free stuff. You know, still about money. I love free stuff. How important is it to have your own merch so people can take that with them when they go home?
It's one of the most important things, because every moment that you coming across people, you might not necessarily be able to get them to listen to a song. So you got to leave them with something. You know what I'm saying?
On them.
You got you know what I'm saying? You got to salt bay them a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You got to sprinkle the salt on to let them know that you present, you know, and then present yourself in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like I did the Music is Arts Festival, and that was the first day that I had passed out the Erie County stickers. And I showed up, I had my house coat on, I had my pajama pants on, my slippers on, and people was looking at me like, you look so comfortable. And I'm like, you know what, truth be told, like you know, this was just a random idea that I had, but it was an icebreaker for people to want to talk to me. Like, I wasn't even pressing people like that. It was just, they was looking at me funny. So it's like, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Because they
got on a roll
because they're intrigued. And then it was like, and so now I'm passing out stickers with my project name on it, with, you know, something that's artistic that people can see, and it's got my, you know, got my Instagram name on it. So if they're interested in following me, they can do that, because I ain't about to just be walking around rapping to everybody every second. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, like, let's present ourselves in a way that people can be, we're approachable. Right. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have something. And if you want to make money, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want to make money and you just want to be a hobbyist, God bless you. But I got to get to the bag, bro.
Well, this definitely may be the thing that gets you to the bag. So, you know what I mean? For next 2 weeks, we're going to show our appreciation, because you've been on this journey for a while, and not only do you improve, you wear so many hats and you wear them all well. Man. And that's rare for this type of industry. Usually you get at one thing, maybe two, not 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, so you're going to be humble. I'm going to talk that talk for you, man.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate everything you're doing. So we're going to highlight you. Next 2 weeks, it's all about you. You're going to be the man for the 716 Spotlight.
That's
all right?
dope.
Now, tell people why they should download the album and why they should listen to it if they haven't listened to it already.
Oh man, get the album, Erie County. You need to listen to this. It's real therapeutic for me. I appreciate the love and support, and it's a direct reflection of not just Buffalo, New York, but the entire county. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that gives me pride about titling it Erie County, is because Buffalo is the center hub of Western New York, but we got a whole county too. You know, so the people on the outskirts that might not feel like they included, it's like, yo, like, I know it's some spooky things going out there too, in Salamanca and all of that. You know what I'm saying? All of these other different areas of the county. So, yo, man, check this project out. It's a representation of the city. It's a representation of me. It's a representation of hip hop.
And he's showing people it's not just cows and all that in Buffalo. I don't know why they be acting like
it's
Buffalo
real.
don't have that feeling, that in them.
It's
My
real.
man showing it all in this project. So I appreciate you, L-Biz, taking the time out to come chop it up with me. Man, next 2 weeks, it's all about this man and this project, Erie County. Go check it out. What's it still about money, man? Here's my last 2 cents. Chase the dream, not the money. Dream it, believe it, put God first and achieve it. You know the steal. Mama Money Radio.